Hey everyone, I'm Mike Tagliere of the FantasyPros Football Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. As always, you can find all of our brand new content on youtube.com/FantasyPros, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. While you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe to each of those channels. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite targets in each round of your fantasy football draft. For the first round, I'd be wrong if I chose anyone other than Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey. He would have finished as the RB1 even if he stopped playing football in week 12 by a full 22 PPR points. You can try to make the arguments for other players here, but they won't hold up. In the second round, I'm going to go with Kansas City Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you're able to get him in the second round, which current ADP suggests you will, you should jump on that. Heck, he's worthy of a pick inside the top 10 overall players. In the third round, I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr. It's rare to get a player who offers number one overall wide receiver upside in the third round, but that's where Beckham is falling, and sometimes into the fourth round. That's what happens after playing in a Freddie Kitchens offense while gutting out a groin injury. Take the discount on the superstar wide receiver. In the fourth round, I'm shooting for one of two players, Calvin Ridley or James Conner. Depending on who you feel better about drafting in the sixth round. Don't worry, we'll get there shortly. It should help you sway one way or the other with this one. Ridley was already a borderline wide receiver 1 last year and was on a 131 target pace with Mohamed Sanu off the team. Meanwhile, Conner has dealt with health issues, but when on the field, he's worth a borderline first round pick. For the fifth round, I'm going to go with LA Rams wide receiver Robert Woods. One of the safest wide receiver 2s in fantasy, and he's falling until the fifth round. Stacking his consistency numbers alongside Mike Evans and Kenny Golladay last year, Woods was actually better. And don't forget that both Brandon Cooks and Todd Gurley are gone. In the sixth round, I'm going with AJ Green of the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't recall a time in fantasy where an elite player of Green's caliber has been this disrespected. When on the field, he's a top 15 wide receiver, period. In the seventh round, I'm going to go another Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver, Tyler Boyd. He's been a top 24 wide receiver in each of the last 2 seasons, and really, if you go back to 2018, he was even better with AJ Green on the field. And now, he gets an upgrade at the quarterback position. I believe both Boyd and Green are every week starters in fantasy. In the eighth round, we're going to select Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back Ronald Jones. A starting running back for a top 10 scoring offense in the 8th round? Sign me up. There's risk involved, sure, but he'd be going as a 3rd or 4th round pick if there weren't any risk. Let's not pretend that there's many 8th round picks who offer stability. In the 9th round, we're going to take Steelers wide receiver DIONTAE Johnson. He saw a very sturdy 18% target share in his rookie season. Roethlisberger has supported multiple top 32 wide receivers in 11 of 15 career seasons. In the 10th round, my favorite pick is Atlanta Falcons tight end HAYDEN HURST. One of the easiest picks to make in your draft. Hurst is moving into a role that had a 119 target pace last year. Even removing a full 29 targets from that, bringing it down to 90 targets, there has been a 92.4% success rate of those tight ends finishing as top 12 tight ends. He has top 5 upside at the tight end position. In the 11th round, there's one of two ways you can go here. Henry Ruggs of the Las Vegas Raiders or running back Latavius Murray from the New Orleans Saints. So depending on the balance of your roster, you can choose either of them. Ruggs presents massive upside nearly every week and will likely be a wide receiver 3 or better more often than not. Murray should offer some standalone flex value, but is arguably the best handcuff in all of football, as he showed last year when he finished as the RB1 in 2 weeks that Alvin Kamara was out. For the 12th round, you can go one of Zach Moss of the Buffalo Bills or Jalen Reagor of the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, if you need a running back, Moss is being undervalued as someone who might be more of a 50-50 split with Devin Singletary than most believe. Now, Reagor, on the other hand, is a rare candidate to find in the 12th round, as he could lead his team of wide receivers in targets, receptions, and touchdowns without an injury. In the 13th round, Anthony Miller of the Chicago Bears is the best value. In the 7 games without Taylor Gabriel last year, Anthony Miller posted 29 receptions for 370 yards and 2 touchdowns. Over 16 games, that would amount to 66 receptions, 846 yards, and 5 touchdowns. now healthy, and he also has twice the chance to get competent quarterback play. In the 14th round, we're going to go another Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver, DeSean Jackson. Did you know that he's been a wide receiver 3 or better in 50% of his games over the last 3 years? He's not sexy, I get it, but with the state of the league and potential absences on game day, he's a great plug-and-play bench stash. In the 15th round, we're finally going quarterback. You can choose one of Chargers quarterback Tyrod Taylor or Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew. Surprise, surprise, we're looking for late round value at quarterback. With Tyrod Taylor playing week 1 against the Bengals, he makes perfect sense as a week 1 streamer. If you're looking for a stable floor, Minshew can offer that, as he finished with 15.2 or more fantasy points in 71% of his games. That ranked 12th in the NFL last year. And finally, in the 16th round, we're going to go with Green Bay Packers wide receiver Allen Lazard. Lazard closed out the 2019 season by seeing 8 and 9 targets in week 16 and 17. It took him a while to crack the starting lineup, but once he did, he earned Aaron Rodgers' trust. Did you know there's been 10 times that Rodgers has supported multiple top 36 wide receivers? Lazard is the number 2 wide receiver in this offense. And that wraps up all 16 rounds of my favorite targets round by round for 2020 fantasy football drafts. Let me know in the comment section below, who did you agree with? Who did you disagree with? Let me know the players that you are looking forward to drafting in 2020. Also, make sure to click the like button on the video and subscribe to get notifications when we post content in the future.